What's good, family? So mash the like button, subscribe, and lick off the bell. So, you man have seen the title. Your man's Malik Scott has broken his silence and spoken out on Deontay Wilder's next opponent and the current situation regarding Deontay Wilder and his return. He said the following: with Deontay, obviously the first fight back is not going to be at the level that he just left. We have to do things the right way. At the same time, we can't go much lower than that Fury fight because Deontay Wilder, is a high entertainment revenue fighter. He's big time boxing. We have to give him a threat because Deontay gets up for threats. Obviously, it won't be a Fury level, but it won't be somebody down bad in the bucket. We're not going to get somebody with a record of 27-11 that Deontay Wilder is used to filling his career with for 49 fights, 40 fights. Sorry, let me fix that. Scott said we're not going to get some more opponents like the rest of Deontay Wilder's record that were opponents with 27 losses and 11 wins. That's not happening. That's not happening, he said. It has to be a name that the fans have heard of, like Louise Ortiz. He goes on: I will have a huge say-so in the next opponent. I will have a huge say-so in the next opponent. When I say I will have a huge say-so, I mean me and Deontay will converse about it. Me and manager Shelley Finkel will converse about it. We're coming off a very, very tough fight with Fury. So the next one, I want it to be a threat, but I want it to be a suitable threat. I want it to be someone that keeps him alert, that keeps him on point. Deontay can't wait to continue to learn. That means the world to me because he's extremely receptive. He respects me to the utmost. He loves me. It's a brotherhood. It's a brotherhood when we're in the gym. But it's effing work. I'm not taking no ish, and he has no problem with me taking no ish. He concluded. So you just heard there from Malik Scott, and the way this guy carries on, I get the feeling that he's trying to be all in the video, isn't he? Oh man, I'm gonna have a big say-so in the next fight. You best, I'm gonna have the big say-so. I'm the boss. I'm Massa. My name Massa Scott, and I'm gonna be telling Deontay what to do. What's wrong with this funny style guy? Listen, Malik Scott, let me tell you something right now. Let me tell you the truth. Obviously, Mr. Twerk a lot. Yeah, Deontay. Listen, let me tell you something that Mr. Twerk. Let me tell you that. Can't get it out. Listen, bottom line, Malik. Yeah. The way you talk is as if your name is Emmanuel Stewart or Emmanuel Stewart training Lennox Lewis or Vladimir Klitschko. Now, I'm not saying the name Emmanuel Stewart because it's kind of hot right now. I'm saying the name Emmanuel Stewart because, for me, for a trainer to have the kind of influence on their fighter's career that you're kind of professing to have, I'm gonna have the say so. You better have shown some results, if that makes sense. You better, like for example, the reason I brought up Manny Stewart is because guess what? You best believe, given how Emmanuel Stewart transformed Klitschko and Lennox Lewis, guess what? We know Emmanuel Stewart kind of earned the right to have a big influence in his fighter's career. You ain't earned nothing. And people will say, Deontay Wilder and Malik Scott fans will say things like, oh, well, he hasn't had long. He had 18 months. What are you talking about? And yeah, again, people say things like, oh, but he hasn't had many fights. I don't care what no one says. The fights ain't really the main thing. The main thing, I mean, look at Tyson Fury and Sugar Hill. That was 7 weeks. Oops. So it can be done. The problem is, obviously, the IQ of the fighter. If your fighter is low IQ, then he's going to struggle to pick up anything. But most importantly, in my opinion, is the trainer. And I'm afraid to say, Malik, I didn't see you doing much. I saw him doing bench press. I saw him doing, what was he doing? I saw you spending more time choreographing fake extra power videos. You spent more time trying to get the Instagram video right so you could spit water out making out you've been hit so hard. That's what you was doing. You was getting caught up way too much in the clout. That's what and that's what I mean when I say he gone all in the video. He gone Diddy style on this one. Because, oh, I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to be doing that. You haven't shown that you're going to be doing anything. You best hope you got a job. You best keep disturbing Wilder's sleep, ringing him at 2 a.m. Yeah? Hassling him. That's what you best be doing. And I almost get the feeling as well that, you know how Malik says things like, well, you heard him here, he goes, oh, he respects me the utmost and he loves me. I don't know about you, man, but if I know someone loves me, I don't need to tell some next news guy. Do you understand? That for me was almost like a bit of a beggy statement. Oh, he loves me. Oh, if I tell the media he loves me, then he can't sack me. You know what makes sense? It's almost like, oh well, if I gas up how powerful our relationship is, that's gonna put Wilder in a bit of an awkward situation to sack me. Oh, he loves me and he'll never, you know what I mean? One of them ones. I'm surprised he didn't say something like, oh, you know, I don't know, but yeah, forget it. Listen, I'm just not getting a good feeling from Malik Scott. I didn't see the way he talking, yeah, the way he saw in the video. I didn't see enough of that. I didn't see, yeah, okay, Wilder was able to jab to the body for the first round, but I'm not being funny. You had a year to do a jab to the body. And don't forget as well, arguably, this was Wilder's worst cardio ever. Because, in my opinion, even in the second fight, his cardio wasn't as bad as that first fight. As the third fight. He was a zombie the whole way through that third one. The whole way through. Zombie. Complete zombie. Absolute zombified. So you didn't bring cardio to the table. Okay, you brought a jab to the body. You pumped him full of weights on his arms. No word of a lie, yeah? We all saw the videos of Deontay Wilder's pigeon chest doing bench press, but did you man ever see him doing squats? Oops. I'm not being funny here, genuinely. If I was training Wilder and we had to concentrate on doing one thing, it wouldn't have been arms. Why wouldn't we do arms? The reason I wouldn't do arms is because we know he's already got power in his arms. He don't need more of that. He needs to, if anything, I believe he needs to keep his arms twitchy and snappy. Speed KILs. Being all heavy and bulbous, Wilder's never been that kind of fighter. But guess what? Them legs could definitely do with a bit more stability. I mean, their whole narrative from that fight was, oh well, we're doing weights because we want to be able to hold his weight up. Guess what, Wilder? You don't hold a man's weight up with your arms. What's wrong with you? You support your weight. You support your own weight and your opponent's weight with your legs. Oops. All these sports science goofies, and you man weren't doing no squats, weren't doing no legs. Because I'm not being funny, we all saw his arms and his chest increased. His legs, wow, your legs were down bad. Yeah? Down bad. Not even a bit of legs did you have. Not even a bit of legs did you bring to the competition. You left leg day. You left leg decade. Yeah, back in 2005s and whatnot. Back in 2000s. Yeah? You left leg day back in the Catskills with Ortiz. And back in the 80s and 90s. All the way back there your leg day was. Anyway, before I go, let's talk about something else now. Now we've talked about Malik, P. Diddy Scott. Malik in the video Scott. Let's mention this other thing. Because basically I get the feeling, well, not get the feeling, it's a fact. The facts are, this was a massive primer. This is what we call a primer. Yeah? This was a marketing piece. People talk about AJ being a marketing. This was marketing. Yeah? They was getting ahead of it. Oh, well, yeah, well, we've just had a big fight and we need someone. Basically, they're saying, for those of you who couldn't read between the lines, Malik Scott saying, we are going to fight a big whopper in our next fight. We don't want to have no competition in the next fight. He said, I'm going to be involved. I'm going to pick the fight. The reason Malik's saying that is because he wants to, apart from inserting himself into the video, he also wants to remove accountability and responsibility from the fighter. How many times have we seen that? Apart from Rob McCracken, who don't take no responsibility, normally teams, they want to kind of remove responsibility from their fighter. Yeah? I'm choosing. I'm going to choose. So when it is a whopper opponent, Malik can say, oh, well, I chose. And Deontay can sit there with his headphones on and just kind of ignore it all. That's what's coming next. Because if you actually, like I said, if you read between the lines, the fact he's saying, oh, well, we had a tough fight and we can't have a tough fight the next time. No one says that. If Wilder was intending to fight Andy Ruiz, I believe they'd just name the name, wouldn't you? Think about it. If Deontay Wilder was going from Tyson Fury to Andy Ruiz or some top guy, he'd say, yep, we want Ruiz, we want this guy or that guy, wouldn't you? The fact he's saying, we've just had a hard fight, and the fact he hasn't mentioned no names, don't expect no names. I think at best, people, at best, it will be Ortiz. But I'm not even sure, bearing in mind how zombified Wilder was, I'm not even sure they'll be confident of beating Ortiz again. I'm really not. And especially if Ortiz does get the third fight, if he has any sense, he'll come out and just go for it for 4 rounds. Why? Because guess what? If Ortiz goes for it for 4 rounds and clips him, their whole camp, Ortiz's whole camp should be based on zombie mode. Hit him and try and get him to go into zombie mode. Because once he goes there, he don't come back. He done. Yeah, Tyson Fury popped his cherry for him. Yeah, Tyson Fury popped Deontay Wilder's. Tyson Fury popped Deontay Wilder's. We'll call it the Ali cherry. Yeah, because Deontay Wilder looking all the way like Ali right now. Listen, it's a fact. Let's call a spade here. Tyson Fury flicked and popped Deontay Wilder's Alzheimer's cherry. It's a fact. I'm telling you, I'm going to call it. 50 years from now, it's not a nice thing to say, but I'm just telling you what the facts. I can see the signs. Yeah, he got that whole Stephen Hawking thing going on with the neurons and that. Super sleepy looking, but he's meant to be awake. One of them ones. And the thing as well with Wilder, he weren't sharp anyway, kind of thing. He was a bit dopey anyway, if that makes sense. It's not like, for example, if I was to box, I've got about 100 IQ points to spare. My man only had 50 anyway, so he was borderline. You know what I'm saying? One of them ones. Yeah? But anyway. Where was I? Yeah, there's going to be a bottom line. Malik Scott came out to say, listen, I'm going to be choosing and don't expect much. This was a statement to let the fans down softly. Don't expect much. It's going to be a complete whopper. Now, is it a smart idea? I can't lie to you. At this point in time, Wilder has no belts. Yeah? I don't think it's a bad thing, but what I will say is, and what I would encourage is that if you are going to fight a whopper, which you are, have a tight turnaround, if that makes sense. So we know Wilder's got a 6-month ban. In my opinion, you need to have a fight set up for that 6-month period. Don't be doing this, well, I'm going to have a tune-up, but I'll fight once a year still. No, you need to look at Canelo Alvarez. Part of the reason I believe these guys get knackered and they're sweating under the lights, and part of the reason Alvarez is so calm under the lights, he doing it 4 times a year. These guys, Wilder just had 2 years out and was only fighting once a year anyway. So, and even then he was always fighting bums. It's not like he had a whole load of like Floyd Mayweather or whatever. Yeah. Even over there, you know what? Stay on this topic. Topic is Deontay Wilder. When he comes back, he should be having, if you're going to fight a bum, yeah, fight 3 bums in 6 months. Every 2 months, go back in there and work on things. I don't actually think that's a bad idea. Maybe even every 6 weeks. But then the fact Malik Scott saying, oh, it's not going to be a bum, it needs to be a pay-per-view fight. I think what this is setting up for, Malik Scott's basically saying, guess what? We're not going to fight a big fight. We're going to fight a crap fight. But Deontay Wilder is a high-revenue fighter. Do you know why he's saying that? I've just kind of clicked to myself. He's saying that because guess what? They're going to be putting it on pay-per-view. Oops. Yeah? So they're basically telling you, it's not going to be a top fight. It's going to be a bum, but you're going to pay for it because it's high value. That's what he's saying. I've worked it out 100%. It's going to be a complete stiff and it's going to be on pay-per-view. I don't think that's a smart move. I think You don't want to piss the fans off. And not being funny, look at Andy Ruiz and Chris Arreola. Them, I'm hurt from my understanding, them pay-per-view numbers sucked. In fact, who else did a pay-per-view? There's been a few weird PBC pay-per-views that sucked. People know what they want to pay for, and they don't want to pay for bums. So go away. Accept it's not going to be on pay-per-view. And the great thing is, who is it, Fox or Showtime? Either way, you've got a great non-pay-per-view platform. And it's not like Wilder's that kind of big name. And to be honest, even the big name guys, they're always fighting top fighters. Even AJ, he always fighting top fighters. Alvarez, always fighting top fighters. You can't do not fighting top fighters and be on pay-per-view. Ain't no one trying to watch that. So either come back and go in there with Ruiz on pay-per-view, or take 6 months off, go back in and have 3 fights back there, 3 or 4 fights back to back to back. I don't necessarily think that's a bad idea, because that's only a year, and then get back on the wagon. If Malik Scott and Wilder really... No, do I believe it will make a difference? No, I don't. But from their point of view, they're delusional. They think that they know something. If you think it's because you haven't had enough fights, then have some fights. But I've got a feeling what they'll do is, it'll be on pay-per-view, it'll be a bum, and they'll still be fighting once a year. And if that happens, which it will, I'm not taking them serious, because things aren't lining up. You can't say that you need more experience, but then you ain't fighting. I mean, being funny, he's had 40 fights. How many more? You know, it's mad. But anyway, you heard that from Malik Scott, and we'll see how it plays out.